Good day. I am Brenton Subida, and we are Group 3 tackling the topic the Bantayan and Datu system in the Visayas region. I am accompanied by Aldrich Toledo, Haley Villaluz, Jasmine Faith, Luis Michael Masilang, Nick Palacio, and Tony Rose Israel. The Bantayan and Datu system in the Visayas region. Before we go deeper, first of all, where is the Visayas region? Well, it's located in the central Philippines and have a total land area of 27,607. It consists of 7 large and several hundred smaller islands. This includes Samar, Negros Panay, Leyte, Cebu, Bohol, Guimaras, Biliran, Siquijor, Panaon, and, of course, Bantayan. What is the Bantayan? Bantayan is an island located in Cebu. It's named from the term Bantayan sa hari, which means watchtowers of the king. 18 watchtowers were built here during the time of the 22nd Governor General Sebastian Hurtado de Corsuera when Moro pirates raided the island looking for slaves. Fun fact, folklore says that the people would shout the word Bantayan, which means to keep watching, eventually inspiring the island's name, hence the Bantayan Island. Moving on, let's define the Datu system, in which it is a traditional political and social structure in pre-colonial Philippines. Datu is commonly known as the chief who governed a barangay, the basic unit of a society. Datu has multiple roles such as political leader, lawmaker, judge, and military commander, with authority derived from lineage, leadership abilities, and wealth.
Now that we've got that covered, let us now move on to the 10 evidences of the Bantayan and the Datu system.
Pre-colonial leadership structures. Cebu already had an organized social structure before the Spaniards came, with small groups headed by a Datu who served as leader. A Datu governed his community, settled disputes, made decisions, protected his village from enemies, led them into battle, and received labor and tributes from his people.
Moreover, the 16th century Visayans therefore saw themselves as divided into 3 divinely sanctioned orders. These are the Datu, Timawa, and Oripun. First, the Datu. This was a social class and a political title. As a political title, the Datu was the leader or captain of a group of warrior supporters who pledged allegiance to him. The Datu was responsible for their defense and revenge, often at personal risk. Second, the Timawa. These were the Datu supporters, comrades at arms, and personal bodyguards. The Timawa were often relatives or natural sons of the Datu. Their role was integral to the Datu's leadership and security. Lastly, the Oripun. This was the general class of laborers and commoners. They were subordinate to the other 2 orders and occupied the lowest rung of the social hierarchy.
So now, let's proceed to pre-colonial Visayan society. Today, we only have glimpses of pre-colonial Visayan life from scholarly texts and second-hand narratives written by Spanish chronicles. The absence of primary sources may be attributed in the large part of Visayans' oral propagation of their tradition. So based on Esquire Mag.ph, pre-colonial Visayans revered various deities, spirits, and natural elements with rituals led by spiritual intermediaries like Babaylan. Artistic expression thrived through oral literature including poetic forms like ambahan and epics such as Labaw Dunggon, which showcased their values and creativity. Tattooing was a sacred practice symbolizing identity, status, and achievement, earning them the Spanish moniker or Los Pintados. This vibrant culture reflects the depth and complexity of Visayan society before colonial influences. Number 4, alliances and trade networks. So based on the researches and ResearchGate.net, Datus in the region Visayas commonly formed alliances with other barangays to strengthen trade routes and provide mutual defense. Bantayan Island, being strategically located near Cebu and along maritime trade routes, would likely have been part of such networks. Early in the conquest of Philippine archipelago, the Spanish Augustinian missionaries must have known of Bantayan's wealth of maritime resources and appreciated its strategic location along the sea lanes leading to the islands of Panay, Negros, Masbate, and Leyte, because a mission station was established here on June 11, 1580, the first outside of the town of Cebu. Before European explorers arrived, the Philippines was home to a variety of ethno-linguistic communities that traded with China, India, and the Malay Peninsula. These early Filipinos followed animistic faiths, adored nature, and created complex society systems. A datu, or local chieftain, presided over local barangays or tiny political entities, indicating the island's early political system. Seafaring and agriculture flourished, particularly in the Visayas and Luzon areas, and there was a complex web of cultural interchange with other Southeast Asian countries. Number 5. Oral traditions and legends. Visayan oral traditions are rich with legends involving datus, reflecting the region's pre-colonial leadership structures. For instance, the tale of the 10 datus describes how noble leaders escaped Raha Makatunaw's tyrannical rule in Srivijaya Empire. They sailed northeast, led by Datu Puti, and arrived on Panay Island, which was home to the Ati people. The Datus negotiated a peaceful solution by offering treasures, including a golden salakot, in exchange for coastal territories. This new union was recognized with a joyful feast. Datu Puti and other 2 datus went on to travel deeper, eventually reaching Luzon and becoming the Tagalog people forefathers. This legend continues to be passed on as part of the Philippines folklore and history.
So now we'll be talking about the cultural artifacts. Long-bladed weapons featured in museums such as the kris, kampilan, and bolo are intended to be handled single-handed and used as a slash and thrust weapons. The kampilan and kris are seen as emblems of power and rank by datus, sultans, and members of the aristocracy and warrior classes. Their patterns such as the naga, the mythological snake, the complex fakir carvings in the handle, mimic variants found in blades from adjacent Southeast Asian nations, implying commercial relations. Next is the surviving sultanates and chieftaincies. The present-day claimants of the pre-colonial royal or noble title and rank of datu are of 2 types. They are the descendants of datus and sultans of historical and influential pre-colonial polities that were not totally subjected to Spanish rule, who still claim at least the title of their ancestors. Next is the descendants of the Christianized pre-colonial datus and rajas, whose status and prerogatives as nobles and former sovereigns were recognized and confirmed by the Spanish Empire. In the Philippines, the government recognizes traditional leaders, especially among the indigenous people, through the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act (IPRA) of 1997. This law allows for the formal recognition of tribal leaders, elders, and councils. While the sultanates, such as those in the Mindanao, have more prominence, some individuals in the Visayas and neighboring areas may claim similar titles. However, such positions often have cultural or historical significance rather than actual governance power. Next is the barangay structure. The unit of government was the barangay, a settlement of about 30 to 100 families. The barangays were independent of each other. Each barangay was governed by a datu, who gained position by inheritance, wisdom, physical prowess, or wealth. The datu exercised all functions of government. In comparison to the modern times, there shall be in each barangay a punong barangay, 7 sangguniang barangay members, the sangguniang kabataan chairman, a barangay secretary, and a barangay treasurer. These officials are elected every 3 years. And now is the cultural festivals and traditions. Prior to the establishment of Daan Bantayan in the 17th century, the town was known locally as Kandaya, a title derived from its first chieftain, Datu Daya. In order to alert the locals to the impending invasion, Datu Daya built a watchtower known as Bantayan sa Hari at Tapilon as part of his defenses. The Haladaya festival was derived from the previous name of Daan Bantayan, Kandaya. The term Haladaya, which translates to Halad Kang Datu Daya, is the root of the Haladaya festival. They will perform a dance and express gratitude to Datu Daya for protecting the town from Moro pirate raids and harassment, and for transforming Daan Bantayan Cebu into a progressive community. Lastly, the historical alliances and treaties. Datu Sikatuna was a chieftain of Bohol located on the island of Bohol in the Philippines. On March 25, year 1565, he entered into a historic blood compact or sandugo with Spanish explorer Miguel Lopez de Legazpi at Hiwananan Bay in Barangay Hinawanan, Loay. This ceremonial pact symbolized the first treaty of friendship between Spain and Philippines. Previously, the site of the Sendugo was believed to be in Barangay Bool, Tagbilaran City. However, in 2005, the National Historical Institute, through Resolution Number 4, concluded that the event occurred in Barangay Hinawanan, Loay, Bohol, based on the findings of a panel of historians. And that's it for understanding the Bantayan and Datu system. Thank you.